What's up, guys? My name is Seth, and this is a Rock of Ages album review. Today I'm going to be reviewing Elton John's 2006 album titled The Captain and the Kid. The Captain and the Kid is a follow-up to Elton's 1975 concept album Captain Fantastic and the Brown Dirt Cowboy. The album takes us on the adventure reflecting on Elton and his lyricist Bernie Taupin's last 30 years in between each album. The Captain and the Kid is Elton's 29th studio album and is also the last to feature Guy Babylon on keys and Bob Birch on bass guitar. This is also the only album to feature Elton and Bernie on the cover. But without further ado, let's get started on this adventure through Elton and Bernie's memories. Kicking off the album is Postcards from Richard Nixon, and I love that they chose this song as the opener because it is such a strong introduction. It has one of those incredible signature Elton John piano hooks. Elton has mastered the ability to grab your attention from the very first few notes and keep it so that you're basically held prisoner by the song because you want to hear more. The song showcases, in a sense, Elton and Bernie's first trip to America. Nixon was president, 70s culture had just started to take full swing, and these two pale kids have come to play. The song has a ton of little Easter eggs and nods at American culture and mentions of Mice and Men and Steve McQueen, to name a few. Although the song isn't really about Richard Nixon, it does bring up what Elton and Bernie see as the incompetence of Nixon, and it closes with Nixon's farewell saying, "I gotta go, but you can stay." After the last lines of the song, Elton closes with another strong piano melody that is a perfect segue into the second song. And that next song is Just Like Noah's Ark. This song is a bit more blatantly political than most of Elton's catalog, which I won't delve into in these videos. All I will say is that Elton and Bernie definitely see the world as a more accepting place than it has been in past years. I've seen some speculate that the song is a jab at Christianity and the story of Noah's Ark, but I honestly don't think that's the direction Elton and Bernie were taking with the song. It's a fun and upbeat song, and it also has a fun and upbeat tempo and lovely melodies. The third song on the album is called Wouldn't Have It Any Other Way. And things slow down a bit for this song. It is, in a nutshell, a love letter to New York City. Elton's telling the story about the city while also talking about everything he loves about New York City and how he wouldn't have it any other way. I've seen Elton in concert 4 times now, and every time he talks about what an honor it was to play at the 9/11 tribute. He says that it's one of the biggest honors of his career that he, as an Englishman, was invited to play at one of the biggest tributes to fallen Americans in American history. Elton goes on at great length to say that this country has always been good to him, and in the song he says that no matter what happens, no one will ever sink the ship that is New York City. The fourth song on the album is called Tinderbox, and it is a look into the state of the world as the way that Elton and Bernie see it. They see it as that of a tinderbox. It would only take a few sparks to set the entire thing off. The song is riddled with a ton of clever lyrics from Bernie as he goes on to say that our current music climate, we've been getting more roll than rock. But one of the best lines of the song, and some of the best on the entire album, come at the climax of the song. Pressure's gonna cook us if we don't unlock it, guns going off if we don't uncock it, we've gotta climb out of the other one's pocket, or we're gonna burn out on this beautiful rocket. Personally, I think these particular lyrics are the epitome of what the song is about, that we need to stop being so obsessed with everything going on around us and focus on ourselves. Otherwise, we become the spark that sets off the tinderbox. The fifth song on the album is And the House Fell Down, and this is my personal favorite song on the album. It has an incredible opening, it's dark and mysterious, and then goes right into another one of Elton's amazing piano hooks. The song tells the story of a drug-fueled, alcohol-fueled paranoid episode. The song details being on a diet of cocaine and wine for 3 days, and then just a little weed to level him out. The song is also a perfect example of what I describe Elton duetting with his piano. Obviously, pianos can't sing, but Elton plays the piano in such a way that it's as if the piano is its own being. The only way I can really accurately describe that is that it's Elton and his piano are singing a duet. I don't know, I might be crazy, I probably am, but the song is another lyrical masterpiece and has my favorite lyric of the entire album. I put the clock in the drawer because I canceled out the time. I just find that incredibly witty, and I love it. The House Fell Down is also home to another great piano break and it has these creepy, cryptic laughs riddled throughout it, and I just think it's perfect. The sixth song on the album is called Blues Never Fade Away, and this is a more somber song than we've had on the album so far, and it's a tribute of sorts to people in Elton and Bernie's lives that have passed away. Influences, friends, past loves, and John Lennon, who is the only one mentioned by name. But if you break down the context of the song, you can also venture to say that he's referring to Freddie Mercury, Princess Diana, and Marilyn Monroe, who have been incredible influences on Elton's life. The chorus calls into question how him being Bernie and Elton have gotten so lucky to have made it this far as their targets on the rifle range, essentially, when all of these other people have not been so lucky. And no matter how much time passes, the blues never fade away. And even though it is one of the sadder songs on the album, it does have some of the prettiest piano melodies. Song number 7 is called The Bridge, and it is definitely the most intimate song of the album. It's just Elton and his piano doing what he does best. This was also the only single release from the album, and that's something that did not sit well with Elton. He didn't think his record label did a good enough job promoting the album and even considered dropping the label because of this. Personally, I would have gone with something like Postcard from Richard Nixon or The House Fell Down, or maybe even The Captain and the Kid, the title track, but that's not the route they chose to take. The song talks of how we all have to make the decision to either cross the bridge into greatness, die trying, or fade away into obscurity. Elton also makes a point that he's seen many jump and never seen one saved, and it also has one of the most beautiful piano closings on the record. The 8th song on the album is called Lost It on the Wind, and this song kind of brings back that cheerful mood that we've had throughout the rest of the album, and also sets the mood for the remaining songs. It talks about all the lovers one encounters, good and bad, in their life. It recounts what each of these lovers has taught Elton, even if it is nothing, as he reflects that now that he is older, has settled down, and is married. It's one of the catchiest songs I've ever heard to feature a harmonica outside of Blues Traveler. And song number 9 is called Old 67, and it's Elton and Bernie reflecting on their time together since meeting in 1967. They talk about how different the world was back in the day and how they're thankful to still have each other after all these years of growing older and wiser together. It's one of my personal favorites on the song, probably my second favorite, and it's honestly such a great way of telling a story. Elton and Bernie have been working together this long, and they've gotten this far without having any major ruptures in their relationship, and I think that's absolutely incredible. And then to close out the album, song number 10, the title track, The Captain and the Kid. This is what the entire album has been leading up to. This is the story of Elton and Bernie's journey. The song opens with the same melody that starts off Captain Fantastic and the Brown Dirt Cowboy. The song goes into detail of how Elton and Bernie have always remained true to themselves, how they're completely different people, but they love each other no matter what. Things would try to drive them apart. In the song, these things are referred to as the devil, but he never prevailed. In other words, the devil never got to wear their shoes. And there are so many references to Elton and Bernie's past work. Elton sings of a tumbleweed and him being on a yellow brick road. This refers to two of Elton's most popular albums, The Tumbleweed Collection and Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. The song also talks of turning Bernie into the Brown Dirt Cowboy and Elton into a Rocket Man. And those are just a few examples of the Easter eggs and the references to Elton and Bernie's career. The song is a testament to how amazing these two are when they get together and make music. They've kept true to their original mission, and each adventure is just one more tale about the captain and the kid. So that's The Captain and the Kid. As far as whole albums go, it is my favorite Elton John album since the 70s, and I'd venture to say is probably the best album he's released since Captain Fantastic and the Brown Dirt Cowboy. And I'm talking solely as an entire album to listen to from beginning to end. There have obviously been other albums that I love of Elton's, but none have had the listenability like they have with The Captain and the Kid for me. I enjoyed Too Low for Zero along with a few of Elton's other albums, but it did have some lower points that I didn't quite enjoy as much. Since the 70s or maybe early 80s, I feel like Elton and Bernie have had they've more so written singles than built albums around those singles instead of writing an album and then picking a single to release from that album. And I feel like that's what The Captain and the Kid kind of went back to. And I'm an album guy, so that's a big part of why I enjoy this album so much. There are no low points on this album for me, and I enjoy it every single time I listen through. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. This is the first video to get back into YouTube, and I'm a little bit rusty. If you did enjoy it, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel to see more. It really does help more than you would think. If you want to check out the album, I'll have a link to buy it on Amazon in the description down below. If you do buy it through that link, it actually helps out me and the channel. If you would like to have some input on what I review next, you can head over to my Twitter and vote in the poll that is pinned at the top of my profile. I also have a Facebook page set up, so you can like that. That way you never miss an update. I'll have links to everything down in the description down below. And thank you all again, and I will see you next time. Until then, keep on rocking.